Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jai Jai Gurudev, Gurudev, Gurudev. Nittai Gaura Haribol, 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 Nittai Gaura Haribol, 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 Haribol. जय जय श्री गांधर के गिरिधारी चैतन्य महाप्रभु की, सर्वज्ञ विनाश लक्ष्मी नरसिंहदेव भगवान की, भक्त शिरोमणि भक्त प्रहलाद महाराज की, पतित पावन श्रील प्रभुपाद की, जय गौर प्रेमानंदी। हरि हरि बोल। हरे कृष्णा। So once again, welcome to all today's session. So today's topic is Jiva. So yesterday we saw about Ishvara, who is the Supreme Lord. I hope you all have understood it. That is the essence of Bhagavad Gita, the main thing. And then it's Jiva, another main topic, without which you cannot progress in your spiritual life. So first thing is to understand, who am I? If we are not sure who am I, definitely some different progress will be happening. We might think that, yes, something I'm doing, but till then we don't develop the consciousness or understand the absolute reality that who am I and who is the Lord. Today, many examples or many things I'll say, understand this, but still we need the mercy of Guru and Krishna to understand this. Without the mercy of Guru and Krishna, it's definitely impossible to attend or understand, which is a divine subject matter. Clear? So now I request everyone to please join with me in this prayers. You can fold your hands with a humble mood. It's only a request. Prayer is always a request. So how should we be? Something I don't have, I'm asking for. So definitely we should be in humble mood. So praying to Guru and Krishna. Okay? Yes, now let us start. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nama Om Ishtapadaya Krishna Preshta Gutale Srimate Jaya Pataka Swami Niti Namine Nama Acharya Padaya Nitikapavadaya Nagora Katadamadaya Nagaragramitaya Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Grimet Prapatamaham Mande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramanandam Madhva Shri Chaitanya Mishra. Okay, now let us start. So before, first let us show our gratitude and thanks to His Divine Grace, Abhay Chanararavinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who is the founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yes. So today the agenda is, what is the soul? So are we this body, a soul? You might have been heard about it, but today we will see the references from Bhagavad Gita and the references from Srimad Bhagavatam and many other scriptures, and try to understand with many examples and stories. Okay, the difference between the body and the soul. and characteristics of soul. How to understand that there is a presence of soul in our body. That what is that soul? Actually, the soul, it's me. But we always in the consciousness, bodily consciousness, we understand that I am this body. So why is that? How many lifetimes have we spent in this bodily consciousness? So how is it becoming so difficult for us to understand that what is my reality? Clear? Yes, different species of life, then transmigration of soul, how transmigration happens from one body to another body. So now, once again, our understanding is from one body to another body that I take a different body. No, today we'll see many things. So in the same body, you are changing. So how is that happening? Then duties of the soul. Yes, definitely we have some duties for our body. The same way we have the duties of our soul also. So let us start with a story. There's a story of Chitraketu. This comes in the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. This speaks about the soul, the understanding of the soul. So here there was a king by name Chitraketu. It's actually, this starts from the question of Parikshit Maharaj. So Parikshit Maharaj asked the question to Sukadeva Goswami, stating that, so Vritrasura, there was a great demon by name Vritrasura. And finally he says, he concludes that he is a great devotee. Then Parikshit Maharaj asked the question, Hari, you're saying that he is a great demon. How can a demon can be a devotee? Then the story starts of Chitraketu. What was he in his previous life? So here Chitraketu was a great devotee and a great king was ruling the whole world. And he had 1,000,000 wives. Not one, two, 1,000,000 wives. But it was so unfortunate. He did not had even one child. So that was the only reason for his sorrow. He was lamenting in his whole life, even after praying so much to the Lord and so many things, still I'm not getting a child. He was in a very deep lamentation. Then to his fortunate, he met two saintly persons, that is Narada Muni and Angira Muni once. So he requested them for a child. Then actually they said, you don't have that karma. You don't have that. So it is difficult to get this child. But he was in a position, he was not able to accept the reality. That's our position also. We are not ready to accept our reality, that why am this happening to me? What is this? So we are so much attached to the body, whatever is required to this body or the senses, we need it immediately, or else we may not be able to tolerate it. The same thing, he is not even ready to accept anything. He says, no, I need a child, I need a child. Finally, okay, Narada Muni blesses him. Okay, you'll have a child. So they do. And Angira Muni also, they do a yajna, requesting the Lord for this. And finally, they get a result of this yajna, that is a payasam, something sweet rice like. Then he says, whoever takes this, they'll have a child by the Lord's mercy. Then he had so many wives. So he calls the elderly wife and he gives this. And she takes, and finally she gives birth to a child. And before this, they gave this name to this child, actually Angira Muni, and as he will be giving you happiness also and sorrow, Harsha and Shoka. Harsha is happiness, Shoka is sorrow. So the name of the child will be Harsha Shoka. So this Chitraketu was thinking, okay, Harsha Shoka, that means they might be a little bit sinful person or irreligious, something like that it might happen. So I'll be getting sorrow out of him. So the name, the Narada Muni suggested as Harsha Shoka, fine. He was so much attached to the child. He just even gave up his duties, kingly duties. He was so much attached to the child always, day and night. And he was loving the child and the mother. He even neglected all the other wives. He neglected the whole kingdom also and the wives also. Actually, king should be an exemplary person. When we are too much attached to something, that means unknowingly, unconsciously, we are neglecting something else. If we have 4 children and you are loving the elder son, that means you're neglecting other three. See, without our consciousness, we are becoming, our relationship is getting spoiled here. Clear? And all the other wives really frustrated by this, that our king is always spending his time only with that wife. He's not even visiting us. He's not even speaking to us. So they all had such kind of this thing. And finally, they poisoned the child. And finally, the child was dead. And now we can just see this position of this Chitraketu is unbearable, because the child was his life now. He was not able to bear this. He was crying. He was lamenting. He did not take any duties. He did not. The whole kingdom is in sorrow now because of this one king. Then finally, once again, there are so many suggestions, so many guidances coming. Is nowhere ready to accept. Then a great Brahmanas, they come, they start giving the class, everything fine. He's not accepting. Finally, he says that, I know that you are speaking the truth. You are great souls. You are not ordinary personalities. Just by your words, I could make out. Please make sure who you are. Then finally, it was Narada Muni, Angira Muni. They revealed that. They tried to convince this Chitraketu that this is in your karma. You cannot have this child. Finally, he's not ready to accept it. Finally, Narada Muni says, not me. Let the child speak to you. The dead child can speak to you. Then finally, Narada Muni makes the child to get the life back. Then the child gets up. He sits and he starts speaking. Then this father, Chitraketu, comes and embraces the child. The child says, who are you? You claim to be my father. I had millions of lifetimes. I had different bodies and I had different fathers to the bodies. I was a dog. There's a dog father. I was a cat father. So many bodies and so many fathers. Then who is the real father now? Whom should I understand as my father? Then after giving this knowledge, finally somewhere Chitraketu was convinced. And once again, the child left the body and he went. So what we understand by the story? Then actually Chitraketu realized that what is the real life. So nowhere attached to this body. Then he became the absolute or great devotee of the Lord. Then he was completely surrendered. He was in the Atmagyan platform. Clear? Yes. So this Bhagavad Gita knowledge, this spirituality makes us to progress in our consciousness to understand the reality. Clear? Until then, we don't understand that who am I? We may not be able to come out of our sorrow or the difficulties, the challenges. We may not be able to accept the reality of life too. Clear? Yes. Now let us start today's session. Let me see if I have a PPT. Yes. Okay. This is done. Yeah. Natvevaham jatu nasham natvam neme janadipaha nachaiva na bhavishyama sarve vayam mathaparam. This is from Bhagavad Gita, the second chapter, 12th verse. The main starting point of the Atmagyan. Actually, the first chapter, Arjuna asked many questions and giving the reason, many reasons not to fight. But Krishna never spoke. Then finally he surrenders to Krishna. Karpanya doshopahata swabhava prichamitam dharma sammudha chetha yachreya shannishitam vritanme shishyasteyam shadimam tvam prapannam. I am surrendering unto you. I will be a disciple. Please instruct to me. What is my duty? I am in Karpanya dosha. I am not able to understand my position now. Then finally, Krishna chastises him. Ashochan anushocastvam prajnavadam shabhasase gatasun agatasum shananushocanti pandita. You think you're a great scholar, you're a pandita, but you're a fool. Till then you don't have this knowledge, you're a fool. It is not to Arjuna, it is to us. We might be greatly, we think that, oh, I'm so educated, I have so much of knowledge, I'm a scholarly person. But we are fools. Till then we don't have the knowledge of the soul. Till then we don't understand that who am I? Clear. See, never was there a time when I did not exist. nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. So here, Krishna is saying the absolute truth. He's saying that I don't want to fight. Krishna is saying you have to do your duty. You have to fight. And now he's saying he starts the Atmagnan that there was no time. Never there was a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor the kings. We are all eternal. Even by killing, you are not going to kill anyone. Only the body you are going to kill because you cannot kill a soul. He starts from this knowledge. Then he progresses. You can see. In the next verse he says, Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tata dehantara praptir dhiris tattana mushyati. Please do attend, or please do hear attentively. This is a little bit new to us because we are so much bodily conscious. So understanding this also becomes difficult to us. What is here Lord saying? Dehinosmin yata dehe. See, there are different bodies. Yes, we think, yes, we have different bodies. Now understood from the story also that the soul passes from one body to another body. The child also says that I had a dog father, cat father, so many fathers. So definitely changing the body is there. No. Now you're saying, Kaumaram Yavvanam Jara. Actually, from the birth, you are changing your body. You're not growing. Clear? You are changing your body. See here, from the child. Just the soul is passing from one body to another body. Actually, you're changing the bodies. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. Do you start crying every day? Oh, I lost my body. I was like a child. Now I've grown up. I've become big. I've lost my body. Do you cry? No. But when you give up this body and take another body, you start crying. When your father or your grandfather, somebody expires, he leaves this body and goes away, we start crying. From the birth, we are just doing the same thing, changing the bodies. Clear? So actually, according to science also, for every 7 years, the whole blood cells of our body will be completely changed. Every day there is a change. The dead cells, every day there is a dead cells and newly cells have been taking birth. So at somewhere near 7 years, it takes 7 years to completely change the whole body. Blood cells, everything will be changed. Science also says the same thing. But their knowledge is different. See, materially seeing is different. Spiritually seeing is different. Clear? So there is no need to be in lamentation when we give up this body. But without the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, it bewilders us. Isn't it? Yes. See here. You can see this picture. This old person holding his own photo when he was youth and when he was a child. You can see these photos. Is he the same person? Yes, definitely. But you can see the pictures and could you make out that is the same person? No. There's so much change. Actually, it is not a growth, it is a change. Why do we accept that these are early pictures of the same personality, even though they look so different later? So there's a change. See, somebody is recognizing me. For example, my name is Suranath Giridhara Das. From the child, they recognize with the same name. When I'm growing up also, they recognize the same name. Whose name is it? Is this body's name? No, it is the soul's name. Why? I'm changing the body. From the childhood I had grown up, there's so much of changes, but still they recognize with the same name. And once the soul is passed away from the body, what they say? They say that Suranath has left and gone somewhere? No, they'll say it's a dead body. Clear? The value is only till the soul is present. Once the soul is given up that body, you can go to any crematorium or any death house, the first thing, it's getting late. When you're going to remove this dead body, they'll say. They'll never call you with that name. But how, what I can say, funny thing is that you can see there, somebody will be crying. Somebody has lost his father, grandfather, whomever. They start crying. Oh, my dear grandfather, you left us. Where he has left? He's just lying down. He's just there. So many days you were calling him as grandfather, the same body, no? And today he's sleeping, lying there. And you say you left us. Who has left? The soul. See, this is very subtly we know that. And for example, take us our own body. How do you recognize? So who am I? For example, take this hand. If somebody asks, who's this hand? They'll say, this is my hand. Correct? My leg, my hand, my face, many things. My eyes, my nose. Then who am I? I'm not this hand. This hand belongs to me, but I am not this hand. I am not this head. Everything belongs to me, but I am not this. Clear? Yes. So we are soul. Subtly we understand, but it takes us sometimes lifetimes to understand that I am soul. It's not so easy to get convinced that I am soul. When we get little bit of pain or anything, we say, oh, who's saying that I'm a soul? I am a body. Just take a needle or something, prick into the hand. You say I'm a soul. Definitely not. You'll get the pain. You'll say, oh, I am body. Isn't it? Yes. We have to develop our consciousness, purify our consciousness. And Hare Krishna Mahamantra helps us to purify that, to come to the soul platform. Here? Yes. You can see here. Although, we identify with something beyond our bodies, although we don't always realize it. Clear? So sometimes, always like we recognize with this body, but we are not that. We saw right now, but still we recognize with it. In fact, this identity is so strong that it remains constant despite many bodily changes. Just you can see here the changes. How is it happening? You can see the child. Then he has already grown up. Both are not same. There's so much change in it. Then he has become a big boy from there to that. Still there is a change. And you can see here a youth who's sitting. Is there any comparison between this child and this person? No. Are we really knowledgeable person? No. Why? How could we recognize this person as this child? You cannot do that, but we are doing it. And then he becomes the old person like this. Still we recognize him with the same name. There's so many changes in his body. Clear? This is our ignorance and illusion. But once we come to the soul platform of the real understanding or the knowledge, then Krishna says, Dhirastatana muhyate, a sober person. He never gets bewildered when this person gives up his body. This old person, when he gives up his body, he will never cry for it because he has already understood that he is passing from many bodies. He was not crying from the child when he became a youth. Nobody is crying from when he becomes from a youth, this boy to this youth, or this youth to old age. Nobody's crying. He's changing so many bodies, but still we're not crying. But when he changes the body, we start crying. Clear? Yes. So every living body, be it human, animal, bird, tree, reptile, or any other living body, undergoes 6 changes. So the difference between the body and the soul, you can see there is 6 changes. There is no change. You will not change the settings. Okay, you can see here. So the body actually has 6 changes, but soul, there is no change. Soul is always eternal. Soul is eternal. There's a change in the body, but the soul, the same soul is passing from this child. You can see it just grows, and it finally one day he gives up this body and he becomes a skeleton. But he is not here. He has taken another body. But there's a change to the body. You can see this body. There's so many changes, and this is not only to the human being. The body can be of human being, of animal, of a bird, of a tree, of a reptile, or anything of such kind. See, what are the 6 changes? Birth, growth, maintenance, production of byproducts, dwindling, and finally death. First, there's a birth. Yes, there's the appearance of a body made out of 5 elements. Gross elements and the subtle 3 elements. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Bhumi rapunalo vaikamana buddhirevacha ahankara iti amme binna prakritar ashtada. Binna prakritar ashtada. These 8 elements, 5 elements, that is water, earth, fire, ether, and air. The 5 elements of the gross, which is visible to our eyes. And there is a subtle body also, that is mind, intelligence, and falsehood. Clear? This is material, which is what I can say, separated from the Lord's energy, but it has been separated. That is this material energy. So that is this body. Clear? Yes. There's a birth, then there's a growth. You can see from small to is becoming big. Then maintenance. Maintenance is required. You need to eat every day. Yes, you have to maintain the body. Even for a tree, you have to water it. Even for animals, even for birds, reptiles, everything. You have to have the birth, growth, and maintenance. Then production of byproducts. Definitely they get married and they get a child. Let it be even plants. I don't know how far you know those things. So plants also need that. So that is where this bee's role takes place here. So then the plant gives a seed, and that seed, once it starts growing, byproduct of each and every body has a byproduct. But definitely there should be the presence of soul. Okay, then dwindling, it gets reduced day by day. Then death finally. It becomes old, then finally it is having death. Clear? Yes. And many other differences you can see here. So Krishna says this in Bhagavad Gita. Avinashi tu tadvidi yena sarvam midam tatam vinasham avyayasya na kaschit kartum arhasi. That which pervades the entire body, you should know to be indestructible. Now he's saying about the soul. No one is able to destroy that imperishable soul. The soul cannot be destroyed. Clear? Soul, even with many, see, even there is a battle, there is a war or whatever, only the body gets destroyed because it is made out of this material items. That is bhumir apo nalo vayu mana buddhirevacha. That is this material things, the earth, water, fire, air, ether. But soul is Satchit Ananda. It is not destroyed by material elements. It is indestructible. It is imperishable. Clear? That means certainly we should understand that I don't have death. I'm not going to die. Only I'm going to change my body. Clear? Yes, Krishna. And you can see, for this you have to refer Bhagavad Gita. So many references Krishna is saying, and with so many examples and so many ways he's trying to explain this. Na jayate mriyate va kadachinnayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyaha ajo nitya shashvato yam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. For the soul, there is neither birth nor death at any time. There is no beginning and end. For the soul, there is no death at any time of the period. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. Somewhere it is confusing us, no? There is a body. And Krishna is saying, yes, there is no such kind of thing for the soul. It just keeps on passes. Clear? He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. There are millions of souls even without the body. But we recognize only when there is a body. Oh, there's a presence of soul. Even without body, there are many souls. Those souls are unfortunate where they are still not got any body for their activities or to complete their journey or the process or to liberate them from this material world. Many things such kind. When you come to the karma part, many things will understand there. So he is not slain when the body is slain. Then when the body is being destroyed, never the soul is being destroyed. And this is all little bit higher knowledge. Till then you don't come to Krishna consciousness, you may not be able to understand. I'll give a small example to understand. So we see our body, isn't it? How can we see this? When we go in front of a mirror, you see this body. But to see ourselves, we need help of something. What is that? We stand in front of a mirror, we see ourselves. What is the help we are taking to see ourselves? It's the light. For example, in the night, with complete darkness, you go and stand in front of a mirror. Will you be able to see yourself? No. So you need the help of light, the sun, and that is Krishna. And the light is Krishna. Without the help of Krishna consciousness, without surrendering to the Lord, without being the devotee of the Lord, you may not be able to see yourself. That is called ignorance. We are in complete ignorance. Yes, there is a mirror, I am standing, but there is no light. Once the light is on, you'll be able to see yourself. That who am I? Otherwise, till then you don't take up this Krishna consciousness. Till then you don't chant. Till then you don't surrender. Till then you don't purify your consciousness. You don't come to the soul platform. You may not be able to understand who am I. Till then we always think that I am this body and all our activities are based on that. And when there is a body, definitely there is sorrow and happiness because it is always changing. That's what is the characteristics of this material world. Clear? Yes, it is ashashvata, dukkhalayam ashashvatam. It is said dukkha alaya. Dukkha alaya means dukkha alaya. It's a place of miseries and it is ashashvatam. It is temporary. Definitely you will be getting frustrated or you will be sorrow out of it because you're expecting something. You're losing something in your life because there is an end to it. Without having knowledge, in illusion, we start crying. I lost my mobile. I lost something which is very precious. There is end to everything. We start crying, isn't it? Yes. Sometimes we construct a building, which a house, beautiful house. This house should be very strongly I'll build. But finally, I'll die. The house will be there. I will die one day. Then I'll think, Hare Baba, I built such a wonderful house. Now I'm going to leave this at the end of our days. We start crying with it. Definitely, there is a sorrow. Till then, you don't come to this knowledge. One, the products leave you or you leave that and go. Understood? This is reality. Then Krishna says, Dehi nityam avadyoyam dehe sarvasya bharata tasmat sarvani bhutani natvam shochitum arhasi. O descendant of Bharata, he who dwells in the body can never be slain, therefore you need not grieve for any living being. Now he is making to come to another level. Finally he says, so anyhow there is no end to the soul. Only that you are killing is this body. Then why do you want to come out of not do your duties as a Kshatriya? Do your duty. Clear? Because there is no end or there is no death to this soul. Clear? Death is only for the body. Anyhow, even if you don't kill, they are going to die. They are going to give up their body. Not today, but tomorrow. But you do your duty. No? So then, can we kill everyone? There's no sin. There is. That's why we have to come to the higher next level of understanding. So Bhagavad Gita, 18 days will help you to understand this. Chapter wise tries to help you. Chapter wise, Krishna makes you to come to understand whom to kill and not to kill, what should be our activities. Karma will explain, but not that much. When you come to Bhagavad Gita, you'll be able to understand more. Then should I kill? Or how should I deal my life? Bhagavad Gita teaches us how to drink, how to eat, how to sleep, how to mate, everything. That is Bhagavad Gita. Clear? It's a manual. I said in the very first day, it's a manual. Without manual, what life can we lead? So without Bhagavad Gita, no life. It's simple understanding. Clear? And now, here Krishna is saying the characteristics of this soul. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, nachainam kledayanti yapo nashoshayati marutaha. What is he saying? The soul can never be cut to pieces by any weapon, nor burned by fire, nor moistened by water, nor witherned by the wind. Actually, this has been explaining to Arjuna because in those days they had the weapon of all the 5 elements. And the weapon was that he throws the arrow, the fire comes out of that arrow and that starts burning everyone. And there was an arrow which just there's a heavy rainfall and the wind, something like that. So he's saying that by material elements, you cannot kill the spirit. So this is the characteristic of the soul. The soul can never be cut into pieces. You take a knife and sword and cut. No, it cannot cut that. You cannot burn. You cannot moisten by water or withern by the wind. Clear? Yes. Now, you can see here the differences of body and soul. First thing, the body gets easily cut, burnt, hurt, broken, and withers with time. Clear? Yes. You can see this fire also, for example. It burns the stick. Till then the stick is there. There's a fire. But the stick vanishes. The same way the body vanishes, but not the soul. You can just pass on that same fire with another stick. It continues. But when there is no stick, there is no visibility of that fire. This is a little bit higher consciousness. You need to understand this, but that is the nature of the spiritual world and the material world. Clear? This nature becomes a source of trouble or pain. This becomes very painful to us when we are in this bodily consciousness. But what is the soul? Cannot be cut, burnt, wet, hurt, broken, and does not withern with time. It does not get affected by any elements of nature. So nobody can trouble us, nobody can hurt us, nobody can do anything to us. Once you become a devotee of the Lord, once you are able to recognize yourself as the soul, that who you are or who am I, no material conditions can give sorrow to us. That is our reality. Once we understand this, it's sufficient. Clear? And next, the Jiva or the spirit soul has exactly the opposite nature of the body. The soul and the body have opposite nature because soul is always vanishing. It is having a different nature. And the soul is Sat Chit Ananda. It is never vanished. And it is the part of the Supreme Personality of God. Krishna says, Mama Ivamsh Jiva Lok Jiva Bhuta Sanatana, the living entity or my part and parcel. Clear? Yes. Then you can see another differences. See, Krishna is explaining so many things. So I'm giving many examples because we have to come to such an extent to understand, yes, I am not this body. If not that, yes, we may not be able to realize without the help of Krishna. Without light, we cannot see ourselves. So then we become very strong in our devotional service. Without chanting, without the mercy of Guru and Krishna, we may not be able to understand who am I. So the difference body varies depending on race, genetic tendency, age, and other factors. Clear? See, it just varies. You can see so many kinds, race, genetic color, and so many. There's a male and a female. There's a child and an old person. So many differences, but soul is always the same. Is always the same. You can see this. There's a hair. One hair is holding it. Why is showing the hair? Because there's a verse from Katta Upanishad and Shvetashvatara Upanishad. It explains. What is this? Kesha Grishata Bhagasyas Shatamsha Sadrushatmakaha Jiva Sukshma Swarupoyam Sankyatito hi Chitkanaha. Here, the soul's characteristics of the size of it is being revealed here. If we divide the tip of a hair into 100 parts and then take one of these parts and divide it again into 100 parts, that very fine division is the size of but one of the numberless living entities. Let it be the soul in any form of the body. It can be elephant, it can be human being, it can be ant, but the soul is the same. What is the size of it? Just take the hair. Sometimes we cannot even see the hair, It's so thin. And just take the tip of that hair and cut into 100 parts. And take one part from that and cut that into 100 parts. That is 10,000 parts of the hair tip. If we cut, then what is the size? It's just so minute. Even you cannot watch, even in any microscope or whatever you can have. You cannot watch that. So that is the size of a soul. There's a scripture saying this. After so much of realization, and this is the Lord who is giving this knowledge, who is the creator, he is giving this knowledge. Clear? It's fine. So the soul cannot be seen. It's only we see the body, but definitely we can realize that I am the soul. They are chit, kana, particles of spirit, not matter. They are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. That's what Krishna says, Mamaivam Jiva Loka Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. They are not this matter. Clear? Yes. You can see this body. Clearly, the body is visible through our eyes. Whatever we see through our eyes, it's everything, the Lord's external energy, that is this material. We see a tree, we see this body, many things we see. Everything belongs to this material world, but which is invisible, that is spiritual. Now many gets, when there is something invisible, how could I get convinced? How could I understand that? That is where you need the surrender. That's why Krishna says, Sarvadharman paritteja mam ekam sharanam vraja, surrender unto me. Clear? Definitely, having the mercy of the Lord, we will be able to see ourselves. With the help of light, we'll be able to see ourselves. Isn't it? Yes. So invisible, and it can never be detected by direct observation. And one more thing you can see here. That's why I said, but we can realize, we cannot see, but we can realize that the body is not consciousness, as can easily be understood by observing a dead body. There's no consciousness. How do you realize the soul presence? By consciousness. Just take a needle, something, prick to your hand, leg, wherever you feel the pain. The consciousness is spread all over our body. Once there is no consciousness, that is called as dead body. His consciousness, in fact, is the element that makes the body appear conscious. That is the symptom of soul, is consciousness. When a person is unconscious, that means there is the presence of soul. When there is no soul, there is no consciousness. Clear? And next. And what is the period of a body? Body stays for some period of about 70 to 80 years on an average. Clear? But for soul is eternal. Soul is part and parcel of the Lord. So Lord is having two energies. One is material energy, as I said. Krishna says, this is material. But what about spiritual? He says, Apareyam idaswanyam. Prakritim vidhi me param. Jiva bhutam mahabaho. Edam dharyate jagat. This soul, which is beyond this material world, have a superior energy. Arjuna, that is the spirit soul. They are part and parcel of me. Mamaivamsha jiva loka jiva bhuta sanatana. Then he continues the same verse. So with the six senses, including the mind, they are struggling in this material world. Mamaivamsha jiva loka jiva bhuta sanatana manah shashtani indriyani prakristani karshati. They got caught in this material world, struggling because thinking that they are body. Once they realize that they are part and parcel of me, once they understand who is their father, they can lead a happy life. Just a small story to understand. Once there was a king, and the king had a habit of going to a hunting. So once his son also, younger son, he wants to go to the hunting. He said, request to his father, my dear father, please let me also join. So he took him to the forest with minister, child, and all went. Unfortunately, the child was missed in the forest. Then everybody started searching for him. Finally, they did not get the child. They came back. And this king was in sorrow for many, many, many years. They were searching, he was not able to find. And after this king was getting old, he called the minister, please go and search my son. Anyhow, I'm getting old. I want to just completely make him the king of this nation. I want to give my kingdom to him, enthrone him as the king. So please go and find once again. Then the minister goes, he searches in the forest, he realizes there's a person. So among the hunters group, he realizes this person was the king's son. Finally recognizes him and calls back him. My dear boy, you know who you are. You are the king's son. So please do come with me. Now the son is also getting old. He wants to enthrone you. You will be the king of this whole world or this kingdom. Please do come. See, if he's an intelligent person, if he understands, yes, if he goes with that minister, definitely he'll lead a life of king. If he says, no, 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 I am living in this forest, searching for these leaves and roots and something. I'm this hunter's child. If he is there, his whole life has been a struggle. The same thing, yes, spiritual masters or some spiritual persons or the scriptures come and reveal to us. You don't belong to this world. You are a spiritual person. You are a soul. You are part and parcel of the Lord. Please do surrender to the Lord and come back to the supreme abode. It's very clear. Once we accept that, once you take up the scriptures, once you accept the spirituality, you go back to Godhead. No need to struggle in this material world, which is dukkhalayam ashashvatam. And it is so simple. Krishna says, Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tattvataha tektva deham punarjanma naiti mam. So Arjuna, he says, as one who realizes that Supreme Lord is Krishna, Janma karma chame divyam. The activities and the Janma birth of the Supreme Lord is transcendental. That is his liberation. He will never take birth once again in this material world, Arjuna. Once you take up this Krishna consciousness, definitely you'll be able to cross this material world. And there are so many saintly persons who are coming and revealing the same message. You can take Purandaradas, Kanakadas on this Karnataka, and Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, so many of them they come. And Purandara says, you are just staying here, but real house is in the spiritual world. But you're struggling here. Think that this is my house, this is my house, this is my wife, this is my father, this is my child. In this way, definitely they are going to leave you, or you are going to leave them. It's only a sorrow. You have an eternal relationship with the Lord. Clear? Yes. Another example here. Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. This is the duties of this body. Definitely. We have to do our duties also. Without eating, we cannot live. So we need this body, and the duties also has to be performed. You have to take care of your parents. You have to take care of your wife, children. Yes, it's your responsibilities. But how long will you do the same thing? Only till then when you are in a bodily platform. Once you come to the spiritual platform, you start balancing. You need both to be done. Eternal knowledge, bliss, and relationship with the Supreme Lord. This is the soul platform. Sat Chit Ananda. That is having the eternality, understanding that I don't have death. I am the spirit soul. That itself is a knowledge. And knowledge helps us to understand who am I and who is the Supreme Lord. So what is knowledge, Knowledge first thing comes to understand who am I. Just questioning who am I. Then, second, who's the creator? Who's the Supreme Lord? And finally, the third, what is the relationship between me and the Supreme Lord? This is knowledge. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, other than this, it's all ignorance. Materially, whatever the knowledge you have, it is all completely in science. It is ignorance. Having the knowledge of mathematics, statistics, and history, so many things, all the knowledge we have. We don't need that knowledge. Definitely we need. It's for bodily platform, not for the spirit soul. Once you come to the spirit soul, and you understand what is my duty, Jiva Rasurabhoy, Krishna Nitya Das. You will be the eternal servant of the Lord. So you have to serve him. You have to develop a relationship between the Lord. Clear? Or else we just live a life of animals. Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. It is said in the scriptures, Ahara nidra bhayamaitunam shashyamanetan pashubir naranam dharme tesho adhiko vishesho dharmena hina pashubi samana. Only you are leading a life for eating, sleeping, mating, defending. You are an animal. That's what a cat, a dog, a hog, an elephant, everything does. Even the birds, in the early morning, as soon as you get up, you can see. Nowadays, you don't have birds also because you have mobiles in your hand. There's no birds. Fine. At least we have to go to the forest nowadays. At least before we had, as soon as we get up, you can see the sound. All the birds, what they're planning. Where will I get my food? Let me go and have my food. Where will I have my mate? Where will be the girl? Where the girl is thinking, where will I get a male? In this way. Female is thinking of a male is thinking of a male for the mating and for the food. And finally in the night, where should I sleep? Which branch, which leaf, where I should take? That's what we also do, no? What kind of a bedroom I need? How should I have a house? Where should I sleep today? As soon as morning, the wife comes and asks husband, what should be the breakfast for today? What will be your lunch? Planning for the day of eating. Correct? Sleeping, eating, then mating. After a certain age, you wanted to have a partner to your life. And finally, defending. So you need a good house, a good log, something, to protect yourself. That's what the same animals does. Animals does in a different way. They have their teeth, they have their, this thing, nails big, where they can, even the dogs or cat. In this way, they protect themselves. We protect ourselves in something other way. Clear? They are leading a life of animals. Then when the human life starts, dharme tesho adhiko vishesho. When you think beyond this, when you try to think beyond this animal platform, then the human life starts. Otherwise, we are in a human form, but the consciousness of animals. Clear? Yes, that starts when you come to spiritual. That starts when you take up Bhagavad Gita. That starts when you start chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Because this is Yuga Dharma. For this Kali Yuga, this is the only way. And when it comes with Kala, I'll explain this. So there is Yuga Dharma, and for this Kali Yuga, it is only Hare Krishna Mahamantra. There is no other way. Clear? Yes. Now you can see here the difference between the soul and the species. There's so many species. Like you can see this cow, tortoise, butterfly, fish, tree, lion, and a human being. But you can see the side. It's all the same soul. Soul has no differences. Only the form of this material form, there is a difference. And how this form develops? Based on our activities in this life. When it comes to karma, I'll explain there. The activities that you do in this life, you transform with the consciousness, and the same form you get for your next life. That means you are developing your next form of body. What kind of a body you want, you choose accordingly. Now you wanted to swim well in the water. Next life will be a fish. Now you're thinking to fly. Next life will be a bird. Now you are thinking to eat flesh. Next life will be something like a lion, tiger, dog, even cat. Any form you can take which eats flesh. Based on not only one conscious, many multiple consciousness, multiple desires we have. Based on that, we take a form. And see, even when our consciousness is being corrupted, depends on the activities that we are doing. When we are pious persons, for example, we are helping others. You can see many people, their conscious might be bad, but they'll be helping others. Even if you take the form of a dog, you'll be a rich dog. The rich dog and poor dog, So where it'll be in some house, they'll have a very good treatment for the dog. Every weekly, it'll be having a bath, and it'll be having a house or a bed. It'll be some dogs in Switzerland and many places, they give a 5-star treatment to the dog. You may take that birth. Yes, consciousness is dogly consciousness. You are taking dog body. But based on our activities, so if you are a pious person, even in bodily of dog body, you will be happy. Or else you'll be a street dog without food, roaming here and there. Many are stoning you and many things. So in life, you always think to do good things. Even if you don't have the spirituality, good thing is more important. That's why many other scriptures say about, but Bhagavad Gita speaks about ultimate. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, it is in pure, what I can say, goodness. So it speaks about the ultimate results. But other scriptures, Karma Kandya sessions, Vedas, something they speak about bodily platform. They always ask you to do good things so that at least the next life will be having a good pious deeds. Even having some animal, you can see even tigers or lions. You can see there's so many differences. They'll be very, what I can say, strong bodily this thing. So they'll be attacking others and they'll be leading a happy life. But you can see other animals, same in the form of a tiger or a lion. They'll be very weak, always been hurted by other animals this way. So doing pious things also will help us. Definitely, but we cannot escape from this birth, death, old age, disease, the cycle of birth and death. But once we come to the spiritual life, you will escape from the same cycle also. Clear? And how many species are there? This Padma Purana speaks this. Jalajanava lakshani stavara laksha vimshati krimayo rudra sankhyakaha pakshinam dasha lakshanam trinshal lakshani pashavaha chatur lakshani manavaha. Today, our modern scientist or whoever, sometimes you should see this National Geographic Channel or Animal Planet. Many times I see, when I have some time, just I watch. Nowadays I don't, but before. They used to, oh, this is a new bird. We have got this in America, the hummingbird and many like this bird. So many days it was unseen. Newly it has been found. Nothing newly has found. Today they are seeing it. That is it. So they recognize. And still they're not able to recognize how many birds are there, how many species. Okay, they go in the water. Oh, so many varieties of fish, they say. But still there are so many unseen by us. In the depth of till no one has gone to the bottom platform of the water, the ocean. No, you cannot go also. We are limited. We are limited. We should understand that. Okay. There are 9 lakh species living in the water. The Creator, the Supreme Lord is giving here. There are 9 lakh species. And there are also, that is 20 lakh non-moving living entities, Stavara, non-moving, that is plants and mountains. Plants and mountains don't move, but they have life. Plants have life. I hope you all know that. Plants have life. But even mountains have life. Mountains grow. See, when our knowledge is limited, we'll understand limitedly. But when we have absolute knowledge, we'll be able to understand absolute knowledge. You can understand that even the mountains, actually, when the sculptures, they do the temples, they use the living stone, not the dead stone. Nowadays, we don't have that subtle knowledge. The divine knowledge, those people are able to understand. And when they use the stone for the down, like granites were putting on the floor, they use the dead stones. The living stones were used for sculpturing some deities or the pillars of the temple or something, Garbhagudi. All living stones were used. Clear? We are so much ignorant. We say we are modern people, we have so much of knowledge or something like that, but it is all only science, illusion. We are developing our illusionary consciousness more and more based on the material things, which we can always think of, which I see, I try to understand that. Clear? Okay, there are also 11 lakh species of insects and reptiles, and there are 10 lakh species of birds. The Supreme Lord Krishna, who is created, he is saying this. As far as quadruples are concerned, there are 30 lakh varieties. Quadruple means animals which are having 4 feet. So there are 30 lakh varieties and 4 lakh of human species. Based on the consciousness, there are 4 lakh human species. Clear? The Vishnu Purana describes how the spirit soul can assume 84 lakh species, 84 lakh types of bodies. Clear? Now we'll be able to understand. It is becoming so difficult for us to understand that I am a soul. Why? Because we are passing from this 80 lakh species based on Ahara, Nidra, Payamaitunamsha, eating, sleeping, mating, defending. So Krishna will be giving us the opportunity for 4 lakh species of human body. We have crossed many human bodies from as a hunter, from very low conscious to the a consciousness. And it is the karma applies only to human beings, not to animals. Now from here, you can go above or below. When we develop the consciousness, see, this modern civilization helps us to develop the lower consciousness, makes us to eat more, makes us to enjoy the senses more. Ahara, nidra, vaimaitunamsha. So you develop a lower consciousness, and next life will be something animal life, a cat, dog, or something like that. But the scriptural knowledge or the spiritual life makes us to think higher. Dharme tesho adhiko vishesho, the higher consciousness makes us to progress in our human body also. Today we are taking a body of different. So next body will be something of a Brahmana. It can be from a devotee family, where from the birth I'll be able to understand what is scriptures. So who am I? The absolute things, a reality. We lead a life of a reality, or else we'll be going in illusion. But today, the whole world is just running behind this science and illusion just for their sense gratification. Clear? Yes. Discussion. What happens to the soul when the body resides in and when it is no more usable? Discuss yourself. Try to understand. Without introspecting, without discussing, without sit for a while, peacefully try to understand. I'm requesting everyone to turn on the videos. You're not able to do that. You need attentivity. You need attentivity to understand this. Or else you'll be losing your life. You're spoiling your life by your own desires, just leading a life of animals. Take out some time. This only 6 days I'll be with you. Later part, it is your duty to do. Definitely, we will give an opportunity to be with us. But how far you'll take that decision is based on the 6 days, how attentively you understand that. What is reality? What is life? If you don't understand, no way. That's why I request every day, do please turn on the videos that makes you to be attentive. That helps you to be attentively hearing this, understand what is life. Life is not only to eat, sleep, mate, and no, it is animalistic. But today the whole atmosphere is filled with this kind of consciousness, making you to go more in depth into the illusion. You take a TV, you take some mobile, or you take wherever you, it's only sense gratification, nothing else. It is just promoting the sense gratification more and more, because ignorant people are sitting on the throne, the positions. When a real king sits, he makes the whole subjects or the whole world to go behind this, or to take up the real knowledge, just to understand who you are. In those days, the Gurukuls were teaching this. The kings used to lead a life of such kind. They were an exemplary Rajarushi, they say. And today we are taking this schools and colleges, which is equivalent to slaughterhouses, just killing us. Those days in Gurukuls, they used to teach us who you are. Based on your consciousness and your qualities, the Gurus will develop you. You can be a Kshatriya, you can be a Brahmana, you can be a Vaishya, you can be a businessman, you can be a great Brahmana, whomever, based on your qualities. But now what is happening? You enter a school and you come out as a Shudra. Which job should I do? That's it. Where I can earn more. Other than that, nothing you have. So without Bhagavad Gita, no life. Please do take it little seriously. Okay? Yes. Now, here Krishna finally says, Vasamsi jinani yata vihaya navani grihnati naroparani tata sharirani vihaya jinani anyani samyati navani dehi. As a person puts on new garments, giving up old ones, the soul similarly accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. So there is no need to have any sorrow or lamentation when somebody gives up the body, because he is changing the dress. When you change today you have a blue shirt, tomorrow you are changing to a red shirt, you cry for it. No, you are changing the body. Actually, the soul is happy because it is just giving up the useless body which is not able to fulfill the desires. When it is getting old, it becomes useless. It is not able to do the activities. So it gives up that body and takes a new one. That's it. Clear? Yes. See, we commonly call this as reincarnation. There's a change in the body. You can see the soul. It is going from one body to another body. But we consider this as growth. See, from the child, small child, it goes elderly thing, and finally it is reaching to the youth, and finally it goes to the old personally body. Actually, there is a change. The same soul, it's in all the body. From our childhood till our old age, it is the same soul, but we don't recognize the change in the body. We think that I'm growing. That is our illusion. Soul is eternal, but I am changing. This body is changing. I am eternal. Clear? Yes. And now the human life starts from here. That is called as Atato Brahma Jignasa. Now one should inquire about Brahman. That is, who am I? That's why Shankaracharya says one thing. Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithyam. This world is false, but Brahma Satyam. It's only the soul is the reality. Because there is a change. It is ashashvatam, temporary. This material world is temporary. This mobile is not permanent. This laptop is not permanent. This house is not permanent. This shirt is permanent. Nothing is permanent in this material world, including my body. Nothing can be permanent. Permanent thing is only Brahman, that is the soul. Till then, we don't understand this. Atado Brahma Jignasa, we don't arise a question in our heart that who am I? What happens to me after this death? I'm not coming to the platform of this, my good fortune, or I don't know, Lord's mercy, or in the previous life, how much I have done. And when I was very young boy, at the age of something, 7 to 8, 10 years, something, I used to realize this. Those days, my grandfather, we used to go on top of the house and take this dinner prasadam there and sleep in the terrace. So I used to see a view, wide vision of the sky with many stars and this moon, everything. Then I used to realize, this is so huge creation. Why I have taken birth here? What is this? And nowadays we don't have wider vision, we don't have broad vision. Our vision has become so minute, so narrow. We think eating, waiting, that's it. That is it. What I'll do for today, how much I can enjoy this. That's it. We don't have that broad vision also. In those days, in one house, 50 members used to live. A family of 50 members, 40 members were there. Today, even two cannot live together. Our families have become so small. Why? What's the reason? No Bhagavad Gita. No Bhagavad Gita. That's only reason. When you don't have knowledge, when you're always in illusion, we are not in a reality. What happens? Clear? You don't understand who you are. What happens? That's what happens. You can see the result. The previous level. Now you think, oh, we are very modern, we are growing. No, you're not growing. You're just vanishing. You're spoiling yourself by your sense gratification. Clear? Jivera Swarupohoi, Krishnera Nityadas. This is our constitutional position. The real identity of the living entity is that he is eternally a servitor of the Supreme Lord. The scriptures say this. This is the absolute truth. Till then, we don't understand this. Many newcomers or who are completely in material thing, definitely they may not be able to understand this. Why? Still, they are always in the consciousness of body, wanted to eat, sleep, mate. That is it. They cannot come beyond that. Till then, you don't chant. We are all in the same platform. Even I have come from there and you're also there. I have just passed your way. Now it is your duty to pass that way and come forward. Take chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Purify your consciousness. You'll be able to reveal yourselves. You'll be able to understand the superior consciousness. You'll be able to understand the reality in your life. Please don't waste your life. Human life is very precious. We are not animals. Please don't waste it. Already many have become old. 50% of our life has been done. Don't waste much. Clear? It's my humble request. Beyond that, anyhow, you have the choice. You have your own choice to do. Clear? Okay, at least from tomorrow, let me see how many will turn on your videos. Attentive hearing is a must to change ourselves. Okay? Now let us chant one Hare Krishna Mahamantra and end today's session. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Here, the chanting, there's a verse. Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrar Pitani Amita Smaranena Kalaha Etadrishi Tava Kripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrusham Vihajani Nanuragaha. This is from Shikshashtaka. Mahaprabhu is saying this. What is this? This name of the Lord, or many names. See, oh my Lord, your holy name bestows auspiciousness upon all. And you have unlimited names such as Krishna and Govinda, by which you reveal yourself. The power of the holy name still you're not understood. Go to Ramayana, you can just see the pastime, where even the stones, just by writing the Lord's name, it starts floating on the water. You know the battle of Hanuman and Rama? For the arrow of Rama, there is no return. It will never come back without hitting the target. When there is a fight between Rama and Hanuman, Hanuman just folds his hands, starts chanting the holy names of Ram, and Ram shoots the arrow. The arrow was not able to hit the target. It came returned back to Lord Ramachandra. That's the power of holy name, because Hanuman was chanting the holy name of the Lord. Clear? Please do understand the power of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and it is Yuga Dharma. When it comes to Kala, that is not tomorrow, day after tomorrow. I'll explain those things also. Yuga Dharma, how it is, how powerful is it? Clear? Here it is, there are many millions of names, but for this Kali Yuga, it is only Hare Krishna. And there is no rules and regulations. In your many holy names, you have kindly invested all your transcendental potency. And in chanting these names, there are no strict rules concerning time or place. There's no rules and regulations. Everyone can chant. Anyone, everyone, whoever, everyone can chant like. Let it be a female, let it be a male, let it be a woman, let it be a man, let it be young age or old age, uncleanliness, or there is something like Sutaka, somebody is dead in the house, somebody had taken birth, you can chant. Let it be female, male. No, 365 days, 24/7, you can keep on chanting. No restrictions for chanting the holy name. Clear? I hope you all might have been understood. Clear? Yes. Out of your causeless mercy, you have descended in the form of divine sound. That is, Lord's mercy has just appeared, yes, incarnated by His names. And we are so unfortunate. Yes, Mahaprabhu is saying, but my great misfortune is that I have no love for your holy name. Lord is so mercifully given us. We are such a kind of ignorant fools. We don't accept it. Just accept and realize. You'll see a difference. Definitely, without chanting, you may not be able to realize. Once you chant, definitely you'll understand what is life. The same words which I'm speaking, it's something like it hits your heart. It penetrates your heart. You can realize the truth. But without purifying, it may not be effective so much. Clear? Yes. Thank you. And this is our Lakshmi Narasimhadev, Gandharika Giridhari, and ISKCON HP. I hope today definitely we'll be having some questions. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you. Let us see if there is any other announcements. Anil Prabhu, do you have any announcements? Chandrasekhar Prabhu. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
So, shall we ask for a nomination for chanting tomorrow?
Yes, please. So is anyone, Ramesh Krishnamurti Prabhu, would you like to chant for tomorrow?
Yes, I had a question.
You had a question. Okay, fine, Ramesh, fine. Later part will take the question. Is anybody willing to chant tomorrow? Any of our representatives can do, but we need someone that shows.
Okay, I'll do. No problem.
You'll do? Oh. Thank you, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhu, you can take the name of Ramesh.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. Now you can ask your questions. Whoever is having your questions. Want to raise the hand? Yeah, you can raise your hand, or else I'll give the option to unmute yourself. You can unmute and ask the question also, not a problem. Yes, first Ramesh Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, my question is, Prabhuji, my question is, what happens to the soul when a person commits suicide?
Oh, it's a horrible, bro. So this answer is
because nowadays I find, irrespective of the age, like from even children of 17, 18 up to
that is
60, 70 people are committing suicide.
Yes.
So what happens?
Without knowledge, that is what the decisions we take. We think that once we end up this body, everything is end. But that is not in fact. Without Bhagavad Gita, there is no life. That's why I say several times. Clear? Yes. See, scriptures say that. So you have a karma in your life based on your previous life's activities. Whether it can be a sorrow, it can be happiness. You take the birth accordingly based on your karma. In a rich family, in a poor family, in an uncivilized family or a civilized family, aristocratic, based on your karmic results. You have to accept it. The very first thing is to accept it. Accept your life, whatever the life you have. If you reject it, that means you are rejecting, you're going against the nature. Nature punishes you very badly when you go against the nature, you know. When you suicide yourself, scriptures say that there are 400 lifetimes you're not given an opportunity of your body. 400 lifetimes. Still we are ignoring, we cannot understand what is the problem we'll have. See, you are thirsty, you're hungry, you have so many desires to fulfill, and when you have a body, you can fulfill that. But without the gross body, you may not be able to do that. But the same kind of 400 lifetimes goes without you getting a gross body. Let it be how many human life or dog life, cat life. You can have many spirit souls without having this. I said during my course of explanation, there are innumerable souls which are not getting the gross body also. There are some souls which have committed suicide. So they'll be passing in their life. They will be passing in their life. Subtle body will be there. But they don't get the gross body. That's a horrible life, you know. This way 400 lifetime goes. So Krishna will give us the problem only how much we can take up. So any problem comes, you have to be able to take up in our life, whoever it is. It can be sometimes there is no solution for our problems. Yes, that's what's my karmic results. I have to take accordingly. I can take accordingly. Once you cross that time, there's a time span for everything. Once you cross the time, you can see automatically you have just given up everything and you come to the next level. The same problem seems very small. Clear?
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, any other question you can raise? Yes, Prakash, you can unmute. Everyone can unmute. I give an option. Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji,
Hare
suppose from a human life, if soul is going to animal life, so will it come back to human life, or it will be like that only?
Cycle, Prabhuji. It is 84 lakh cycle, no? 84 lakh species cycle there is. For example, this is, I don't know, but still I say this, the process like. For example,
Okay.
now by your consciousness, you are taken a form of a rat.
Okay.
After the death of that rat, you take the form of a cat.
Okay.
After the lifetime of a cat, you take the form of a dog. After the dog, you can come to a horse, then to a cow, and finally from cow to a human being in that way. Based how much you are degraded in your consciousness, you take that life.
Okay. Okay.
Then you take that life, you develop your consciousness to the human consciousness, and then you get a chance in the human consciousness. Only it's in the human consciousness you have a chance to get liberated from this material world to spiritual world.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes.
One more question.
Yes, Prabhu.
There is a Krishna Loka and a Vishnu Loka.
Yes.
So, what is the difference? Krishna Loka, Vishnu Loka,
See,
and
that is
there is
also
Rama Loka.
Yes, definitely. That's all based on our consciousness. How much have we purified in our consciousness? Not only in this material world, even in the spiritual world, it is based on our consciousness. So, what is the difference between this Vishnu Loka or Rama Loka or Krishna Loka? And Krishna's Loka is the topmost of the supreme. Just I'll share that. You'll be able to see. I hope you can see this chat. Yes. You can see here. Yes. This is our material world where we are living. This is our universe. Clear? Yes. Then you go beyond this material world.
Not audible.
Not audible? Chandrasekhar Prabhu, am I not audible?
You are audible, Prabhu. You are audible.
I'm audible. Okay, fine. Can you see this chat?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes. Okay, see, this is material world. This is one universe, an innumerable universes. This is one universe where we are living. And here also you can see all the 14 planetary system. In that there is a Bhuloka where we are staying in this Bhuloka. Once we get liberated, we just pass this material world and go to the spiritual world. Spiritual world is also based on our consciousness. How pure are we? How much surrendered are we to the Lord? So this Vaikuntha planets where we go, so their Vishnu Lokas, all Narayana Lokas are all in this Vaikuntha Lokas. This is also innumerable. It is 3 times the creation of this material world. Okay, so here we stay and serve the Lord. And beyond that consciousness, you have purity, then you go to the Ayodhya. This is Ramaloka. See, based on this chart, we can see this is small, this is big, but it's all the same. Okay, clear. In this Ayodhya, you can enter. And you're more pure, then you enter this Goloka Vrindavana, which is Krishna Loka. Then you might ask, what is the difference here? It's all spiritual world only, no? See, in the material world also, I gave the example of a dog. There's so much of difference in dog life also, you know. There can be a street dog, there can be a house dog, and there be a dog of a 5-star level, having a good bedroom, AC bedroom. Such kind, there'll be 4 servants to the dog. Clear? Yes. For example, the police dog or the military dog has a huge respect, you know. When the dog dies, they do the same respect as an army man has done, with the gun shooting and taking the body of that cat and dog, and crematory, many things. Clear? Have you seen this? Yes, the same thing. This is material consciousness and spiritual consciousness also. But what is the main difference between this Vaikuntha and Krishna Loka? In Vaikuntha, you serve the Lord. And in Goloka Vrindavana, Krishna serves you. The Lord will serve you. That's what in past times you can see. Pastime of Vrindavan, where you can see that Krishna always will be playing with their friends. He will never win with them, When there is a battle between the friends and Krishna, he just loses. And he just starts serving them. Whoever loses in the game, they have to carry them. Finally, Krishna will lose and he starts carrying all their friends. This is the difference between Vaikuntha Loka and Goloka Vrindavan. Okay. Yes. Yes, Chandrasekhar Prabhu?
So just one question I had. We will come back to this material world even if we are in Vaikuntha, or will not come back to Vaikuntha?
No, you will never come back, Prabhu. That's not a punishment to you. If you are wishing, you can come back. Like, for example, Srila Prabhupada, some great souls wants to serve here, they can come back. But you are not binded in this material world. Simple example. For example, there is a fire. You have kept your finger in the fire. You have burnt it. Will you next time give your finger to the fire? No, obviously we don't do. You have already faced so much of fire, burnt yourself in this material world. Once you escape from this, go to the spiritual world, why will you have a choice to come here once again?
Okay. Right. So only difference is that we'll be serving Lord there. In Golok Vrindavana, Krishna will be with us.
Yes, both are the same. But you'll never return back here. But yes, by your compassion, you can come back. By your compassion, because you are already burnt your finger. So you have struggled in this material world. You have the compassion that so many conditioned souls in this material world. You want to help them. Then you come here. So when you come here, you take the form of an Acharya, like Ramanujacharya, like Srila Prabhupada and Madhvacharya in this way. You come and help. And then there is no binding. But still you lead a life of a materialistic or a normal human body life. You will take birth, you'll grow, you'll have a wife, you'll have a child, something, all this. But to ordinary people, visibility will be you're also an ordinary man, but definitely not. After death, you go back to spiritual world, irrespective of your activities, because that all the activities will never bind you, because you're beyond that material life. So in that way, let it be Ramanujacharya, Srila Prabhupada, or Madhvacharya, Purandaradasa, Kanakadasa. It's only a lessons to us. But they are all spiritual personalities. They show how to make our life perfect, and they go back to Godhead. Clear?
Okay.
Yes, Prabhupada. Okay, any other questions? You can unmute and ask. No more questions? Okay, fine. Thank you. Thank you for attending today's session. But once again, I'm requesting, at least from tomorrow, turn on your videos. Try to be a little attentive. Tomorrow it is Prakriti. We'll be speaking about Prakriti. We'll understand this material world. Today we try to understand who am I, that is who is Jiva. And tomorrow we'll try to understand what is Prakriti, this material world, how this is binding. What do you mean by material world? What we see this material, is that the material world? No. You'll be able to understand tomorrow. Okay. Prabhu, after that soul takes place other body, immediately, or it want to wait based on our actions, Mataji? Suma Mataji. It is based on our actions. Definitely we will go to heavenly planets and to the hellish planets also after that. And finally we'll come. But the time is a lot of difference in it. When it comes to the Kala portion, I'll say that. So how the time differs, what do time? One thing I'll say, the words might be the same, but the understanding is not the same. When you come to attend the sessions, you'll understand what is time. Time is not what we think, taking the watch and seeing the time. No, that is not time. Time is something different. And there's different types of times also. It's a lot of change. So to this material world, as soon as you leave the life, you take another body. But meanwhile, your past so many millions of yugas also spent your time. How? Let us see in the Kala session. Okay. Yes. Okay. Thank you for attending today's session. We'll chant once Hare Krishna Mahamantra and wind up for today. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So last request, there'll be a feedback session. Please do, at least if you're not able to ask the question now here, you can ask your questions there and give your suggestions and feedback. And please do, after chanting, just mention there how many rounds have you chanted. Okay, thank you. So now you can say once Hare Krishna and leave the session for today.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Na Manya Mataji Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hare Hare.
Saradhyama Mataji Hare Krishna, Asha Devi
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna
Krishna
Prabhu.
Hare Hare.
Thank
Hare
you.
Rama Hare Rama.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Lata
Rama
Mataji
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna,
Namaste Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Ramesh Prabhu Hare Krishna,
Hare
Shashi
Krishna Prabhuji.
Suresh Prabhu Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Devani Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prabhu.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare
Indu
Krishna
Mataji Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna. Manjunath Prabhu Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Chandrasekhar Prabhu, Anil Prabhu. Hare Krishna. You can end the
Hare
session.
Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna to all. Thank you all for joining the session. Tomorrow we'll learn about what is Prakriti. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna.